to find that unit rate. You can always stop and pause here when you are checking your answers. Now, we have not done number 5, so there was not an answer to that one. We're going to work on that one in just a moment. Okay, my peeps, here's our last problem that will work for this first lesson. Remember, you can go back and re-watch this video over and over, making sure that you look at the different kinds of problems that we worked today before you start on your homework. Yes, I said homework. You need to practice these skills. Okay, so I'm going to work this one as if I don't know a lot of information. I'm not truly certain how gallons can turn into cups or minutes to seconds. Just bear with me. Watch how I do this one. Then you can go back and rewatch it as you write it down and practice writing it down. So we want to take our given information. We are given 30 gallons. Let's try this again. We are given 30 gallons per minute, and we're trying to get down to cups per second. And so what I know about gallons is I know that there are 4 quarts in a gallon. I know that. We've studied the gallon guy. So when I look at this problem, I can say, well, in my gallons, I need to put that on the bottom to make it cancel out, and I'm going to put quarts on the top. In doing that, I need to make another unit multiplier because quarts needs to go on the bottom. I'm not trying to get to quarts, I'm trying to get to cups. But what do I know about quarts? Well, I know quarts and pints go together, so I can think about those. I'm going to have to put pints on the bottom for the next one because I don't want my unit to be pints. I'm going to have to cancel that out. And do I know something about cups and pints? I do. So what's happened so far is we have been able to cancel out our gallons, we've been able to cancel out our quarts, and we've been able to cancel out our pints, which leaves us with cups. So we've made it to the first mark, the cups. Now we need to get to the second one. And what do you know about minutes and seconds? Hopefully you know something. Minutes are on the bottom, so we need that to go on the top, and we want seconds to go on the bottom. So our minutes will cancel out, leaving us with cups per second. Now that we have first identified all of the units to put in to our conversion, now we need to identify the numbers that go in there. Well, if you look, now we need to see how many quarts are in a gallon, how many pints are in a quart, how many cups are in a pint, how many seconds are in a minute. Now that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fractions being multiplied together, we can start canceling out. What could we cancel out? Now, your brain may cancel in a little different fashion than mine, but that's okay. There are many options that we could work on this problem. I am going to go with the 30 and the 60. I can say 30 divided by 30 is 1, and 60 divided by 30 is 2. And I have a couple of options on the top. I have 2 2s and on the top and 1 2 on the bottom. So I'm going to pick one of my 2s on the top and my 2 on the bottom, and those cancel out as well. Well, you know I like to circle everything that's left over. So I have a 4 times 2 on the top, and then 1, 1, 1, all 1s on the bottom. Well, what is 4 times 2? That is 8 cups per second. And so your answer would be 8 cups per second. So if we were using up 30 gallons in 1 minute, that is like using up 8 cups in 1 second. Remember to go back and check over the whole video. You want to make sure that you've gotten your notes, that you've written some practice problems down, and that you're ready to work your homework. The last 2 problems that we worked today will be the hardest 2 problems in the whole set, and this is where you really want to start paying attention. So you'll have to kind of sit up in your bed, or if you're on the couch or at the kitchen table, you need to really focus in. We talked about converting different measures, and we created a unit multiplier. Well, here it's called a unit rate. It has the same concept, but it just has a little different name, means the same thing. Let's talk about what we mean when we're converting. You want to take the given times your unit rate or unit rates, depending on how many it gives you, and that takes you to your converted measure. Make sure if I'm writing, you are writing. You'll want this formula as we go on. So let's start writing in. We are going to take our 10 miles per hour. So we have miles on the top, hours on the bottom, because this is like how far you would go in 1 hour, and that would be 10 miles in 1 hour. We're trying to get it to turn into feet and minutes. So we've got to figure out how could we turn miles into feet and how could we turn hours into minutes. This is going to take us 2 separate unit multipliers to get there. So let's think about what we know. What do you know about miles? Well, miles are on the top, so we need to put that unit on the bottom. Why do we put it on the bottom? Do you remember? I think I heard somebody say it. Yes, we want to cancel out those miles. So one needs to go on the top and one needs to go on the bottom. Well, if that goes on the top, then we need to figure out what unit of measurement can go, or if that goes on the bottom, we need to figure out what unit of measurement can go on the top. Do you know anything about feet and miles? If you do, we only have to make one unit rate. And I think you should know that there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. So we have canceled out our miles, and that has left us with the feet, and that's good. Now we need to make our hours turn into minutes. If hours is on the bottom, where do we need to put hours to make it go away? You're right. We need to put hours on the top to cancel it out, and we will put minutes on the bottom. Well, we should know something about hours and minutes. It takes 60 minutes to equal 1 hour. Now we can go through and cross-cancel anywhere that we have that will work. Where do you see a place that we can start cross-canceling? Is there a place on the top and the bottom? Okay, you may find a different place than me, and that's okay. I'm going to pick the 10 and the 60. It stands out in my brain right off the bat. So 10 divided by 10 is 1, and 60 divided by 10 is 6. So I have a 6 on the bottom and 5,280 on the top. What I can do is I can take 5,280 and divide that by 6. Let's see if it works. And it does. And if I were to cross-cancel with the 5,280 and 6, the 6 would become a 1, and the 5,280 would become 880. And so I'm left with a 1, 880, and a 1 on the top. So 1 times 880 will still give me 880, and I have 111 on the bottom. And so this gives me 880 feet per 1 minute. So I can go, if I'm driving at a rate of 10 miles per hour, I'm actually covering 880 feet per minute. And we've just converted. As you can see here, it's worked out for you, typed out. You are welcome to pause this and see exactly how